So are you ready to PR yourself? We'll remove the mystery from all things PR, and we'll discuss everything from our top strategies to tips and tricks and everything that you can utilize to further enhance your brand or your message. I've been in media, I'm a journalist, and I'm also a publicist. I am Leah Frazier, CEO of Think3 Media, and your host for PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Let's go. And welcome to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. I'm really stoked about this guest. I'm not even gonna lie. And she's really beautiful.
Aww.
And she's socially distanced, sitting across from me at this moment. And her voice is like butter.
Aww,
it's like
thank
butter, babe.
you.
You see what I'm saying? You guys are already relaxed. So I just want to welcome Susy Solis to PR Yourself with Leah Frazier.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here with you.
I'm happy you made time for me because I know you're busy.
Girl, I love you. When I got the email, I was like, oh, of course I would do this. This is perfect. And so many people actually need this information. It's so important. So,
well, the reason I reached out to you is because you did my women's conference, which feels like yesterday, but it was actually a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I can't believe it was that long ago.
It's like that just freaks me out because that means time's going like super duper fast.
Way too fast, especially with all this COVID stuff going on.
We'll talk about that in a few. But when Susy came out, I had a panel on media, press, outreach, and she just kept it 100% real to the point to where the women had like pages worth of notes, but they appreciated the rawness because you didn't sugarcoat. Like, you guys don't really know what you're doing.
Right.
And this is kind of why you're not securing coverage. So I'm like, let's bring Susy back for the rawness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good part is I've been on both sides. You know, I was a reporter for 8 years here in Dallas, and I would get pitched every single day by a lot of PR people. And even a lot of PR people didn't know what the hell was going on. So when people try and do it themselves, then they realize like it really is a lot of work, and there is an art form to it, and there is a way to do it to make sure that you get coverage.
So let's talk a little bit. Tell us where you are currently and what you have going on, because I mean, Susy's out. First off, she's out here slaying with telling y'all to get out there and vote. Beautifully.
Right. That is right. No, that is definitely one of my things is like, I don't care who you vote for. I mean, I do, but, you know, I really don't. But, you know, we got to get out there. And it's our people. It's brown people and black people. We got to get out there and get our voices heard, and we're not doing it enough. So I'm definitely pushing for that. But on the business side, I'm still on morning radio doing KRLD every morning. I've been there for almost 2 years, and still have my business going, Solis Media Strategies, and doing a lot more one-on-one coaching, still doing, you know, my media training classes and stuff like that for police, fire, other municipalities, and just other CEOs and other executives who need to get trained and understand what they're facing whenever they're about to do an interview.
Well, that's what I'm going to harp on in with you today, and then we're just going to have you back. So you're just going to have to clear time in your schedule for 20 minutes for little old me, because I have some other things that I want to talk to you about. But I do want to talk about the importance of media training. Like, even if somebody can't afford a publicist, right, or you can't go with a firm or an agency, what's the negative? Because you've seen some stuff over your career.
Oh, yeah.
What have you seen when people are not prepared for their actual media appearance?
Well, people get really nervous, number one, and then they start stumbling and it looks terrible and it's bad for everybody. It's not good for the show and it's not good for them personally. But I always start my media training off with Steve Harvey, and I say, listen, nobody, not even the professionals, are immune to making mistakes. You know, we all can make mistakes, especially on live TV or live radio or a podcast or whatever it is that you're doing. And so I always tell people, you know, it's not about getting ready for a media interview or, you know, a presentation for that matter. It's about staying ready. And in reality, when news travels so fast, especially with Twitter and stuff like that, you can't wait. You have to be prepared for something like that. And so it's important to know, like, what your stance is. What would you be talking about? What are some of the things that people could ask you about that maybe you're not sure what to say? Well, you need to get sure and figure out what that strategy is before you ever even pitch yourself to do a story.
Well, how do you train people, or how do you get them prepared effectively if there are certain outlets that don't give you the questions ahead of time? you don't know what the teleprompter is going to say. How do you release those nerves? Especially 9 times out of 10, you'll see that with TV. How do you get people to get out of that box?
Well, I think number one, a lot of people really don't know exactly what their message is. And that's the first thing you need to find out is, okay, you know, what do you stand for? Who are you? What's your story? And really hone that down and edit it. A lot of people, if you ask them a question like, hey, where did this get started?
Stop,
what was your inspiration?
Shaking
They're
my
going
head.
back to 1963, girl. I'm like, no, honey.
Back to when I was coming out the womb at Baylor Hospital.
Exactly. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to talk about this. You know, we need to get a lot more focused on what that messaging is. And then it's about having those questions asked of you and figuring out how you're going to answer those questions and being ready for anything. So doing those practice sessions with your friend, you know, a trusted advisor, somebody who can kind of guide you through what might sound good or what doesn't sound good, because it's all about perception. Perception is reality. And so practicing that and getting used to having that red light on, because what happens is
Freeze up.
People freeze up, people freak out. And instead of focusing on that conversation with the reporter, people are thinking about, oh my God, there could be a million people looking at me right now. And then that's it. That's where the deer in headlights look happens. That's where the stumbles happen and all of that. So it's not hard to prepare. Once you do it, you understand. But a lot of people just don't know what to expect. And then they go in there blindly. And that's when these things happen.
And repetition, right? I mean, how many times should one maybe practice this in the mirror or practice with your friend? What does that look like?
You should already know like what your story is. You know, like people ask me all the time, like, how did you start your business? Well, it's real easy for me. You know, as a reporter, I would interview really smart people, you know, executives, police chiefs, like just a lot of really smart people. But then the camera would start, the little red light would turn on, and again, they would get that deer in headlight looks. And so if you are really great at your job, but you can't communicate that, that's not good. You know, that's part of being a leader. That's part of being a business leader. That's part of being prepared for your job. And so those are the things that you need to have readily available for your business or whatever it is that you're doing or trying to pitch, is those stories about why this is coming about, you know, what you're there for, what your purpose is to be doing that interview at that moment.
So that's great. Already some good key tips with practicing with repetition. Phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Get a lifeline, whatever you got to do. Find a Susy in your life.
Yeah.
You know, get that key messaging down.
Yep.
And then I just feel like there's so many ways to PR yourself these days, right? So there's people that are now huge YouTube influencers. Now everything, and I'm rolling my eyes when I say this, every thing is on Zoom.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
so
girl.
Zoom, people are doing, I had somebody that reached out to me the other day. It was like, oh, I want to talk to you about this women's organization and I want you to get involved because it involves young girls of color. Let's set this up for IG Live, or it was like a Facebook live stream or a Zoom. And I'm like, whoa.
I thought this was just like exploratory. Can you just give me a call?
People are crazy. But in preparation, if in fact that was, because this is like this new dawning of media per se, I feel like people need to be prepared camera wise because everybody wants to live stream you at this point.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing is, most cameras just don't look that great. So I always tell people, get a ring light. If you're going to be doing Zoom calls nonstop, or at least sit in front of a window, and make sure that you have good lighting on you, because that's the number one thing that I see. And even on TV, like you see all these like public health experts and stuff, and you're looking up their nose, you know, they have the worst angles. Like, get a box. I know y'all have Amazon boxes at home. Don't be playing. Get
me every day.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, so get a couple of boxes and adjust the height of your laptop that way. The best angle is just straight on your face. You know, it should be a head and shoulders look.
I love that.
And that's always the best thing, because you see a lot of women also too, like wanting to put it up because we don't want to see the double chin, and that's fine for a selfie. I get it. But in business, you know,
y'all see why I have Susy here. I was doing this political Facebook. This guy has a show. Actually, I mean, it does go on national TV. And so he does like a round table bringing everybody of, he says, different backgrounds together, but I'm always the only black woman. It's fine.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things. We appear on Zoom and it's so funny. People have bad lighting or you have a bunch of crap in the background.
Yes.
And one guy, I mean, I understand if you can't appear via laptop, but you've got to figure out via your tablet or your phone ahead of time how to get that correct headshot that Susy's talking about. Otherwise, you look crazy side by side with the anchor.
Yep, you look crazy. And you don't want to see that. Like for women, we don't want to see down your shirt. And we also don't want to see up your nose. And in reality, like I said, the most flattering way is just straight on with. And the other thing, here's a pro tip. A lot of people don't do, and this is why you see a lot of ugly looking shots. They don't clean their camera lens.
Oh, Lord.
Girl, it's something as simple as
What is that dot? And you're sitting here trying to wipe your own TV,
exactly.
and it's not you, it's them.
Like, why is it so fuzzy? Well, just wipe down the lens. That makes all the difference.
Now, I will give credit to a lot of our local TV stations here that they do either the day of or the day before, they do your prep for your Zoom call or Skype and try to make sure that you have accurate lighting and that you do look the best. However, not all stations are going to do that for you. They're just pressed for time.
Right.
And with the elections and the pandemic, you just lucky you even got a slot.
Yeah.
So,
you're right. Absolutely.
So please, take Susy's tips and just really fine tune that.
Well, the other thing that I tell people is watch your face, because a lot of times
she's talking to me, y'all.
When we are listening, and I'm guilty of this because I definitely have resting bitch face. You're listening.
I would have never guessed that about you. She's so pretty. She has these dimples, y'all. I would have never guessed that about you.
So when
because she worked on it.
Exactly. So when you're listening, you usually have like a very serious face and it comes off as resting bitch face. And so I always tell people, have kind of an amused face. It's not the super cheese grin, but just something pleasant like, oh, something smells good, or think of something nice where you have, like I said, what I call an amused face. Try smiling with your eyes and
smizing, as Tyra Banks would tell you.
Exactly.
Be, channel your inner America's Next Top Model and smize.
Find the light.
Find the light if you have it. I mean, it's Amazon. That's what I don't understand. I have one that clips onto my table. Yes. It was $19. It holds my phone. It has the ring light. I didn't have to go get the fancy makeup one that's like $300.
There's no excuse these days not to have one if you're doing this on a daily basis. Get one. Like Leah said, you can get one for $20. You can go up to $60 for a bigger one, $80, and then up to, super duper expensive, which we don't need to go there. It's not that necessary, but there is no excuse in this day and age. It's kind of like, it's like having a phone now. Everybody's doing Zoom calls. So that's just something that you have to have, good lighting.
And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I kind of do. So after all of your years reporting, being in media, and just being in on this topic of media training, what has been like the worst instance that you've ever seen?
Oh, man.
I'm sure there's plenty, but is there one that's just pops out?
Yeah. Well, actually, when the Baylor rape situation was happening, Ken Starr, was speaking on behalf of the university, and they were interviewing him, and it was a really young reporter, you could tell, and she even had her news director there. Anyway, she asks him a question, and then he answers it. And then after he answers it, he looks at his PR person. He says, "Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that what I was supposed to say?" And then it was like the record stops, Then she comes in, she has to stop the video. And of course, all of this is still rolling. They kept it in the story like any good reporter would do. But it's like, that's why you have to prepare beforehand so these kinds of things don't happen. And in fact, I use that example in my media training.
And I love that you talked about that, because no matter whether it's like crisis management or you have a bad news story and you're trying to overcome that, or even if it's just something positive that you're trying to highlight about your business or brand, it doesn't absolve yourself of having to prepare and figuring out what is that message going to be without you looking around and being like, was that okay?
Exactly. It was just shocking. And it just made him look terrible.
No.
And it's just, you, like I said, you have to be prepared. And if you're questioning your business or did I say the right thing, then who's going to have trust in what you're doing and what you're saying? You know, you're undermining your own credibility when you do that kind of thing. And that's why it's so important to feel confident in what you're saying, because really, again, perception is reality. And so if people feel like they can't trust you because you're unsure, then they're not going to trust you and want to spend their money at your business or hire you for whatever services you perform.
That's true. And y'all cannot afford to be in that space right now during the pandemic. I'm trying to keep all my episodes, evergreen, but unfortunately we have to address, the times and right now everything that you're saying is so relevant. And unfortunately, if you're not necessarily going on radio or doing some sort of magazine interview, you have to prepare yourself for video. Everybody is Zooming. It's like an expectation right now that I'm either going to Zoom you or Skype you for your interview. Even if I'm just recording it, for some reason, like some of these reporters just want to, I guess, see your face. Make sure you're real. You're not catfishing in these streets. I don't know. But you have to be prepared. Now, I do we're talking about the rawness and the realness. Some of you people, and I don't mean you people like that. I look at my publicist. Should I have said that? Some people aren't designed to do the interview, no matter how much media training you get. So what do you think about that? Sometimes I say that and I feel really bad. Like, can we get an ambassador?
Yeah.
A spokesperson?
You're absolutely right. And sometimes, and it is good to invest in that and say, okay, who's going to be able to feel comfortable enough and have the knowledge needed to perform these interviews? Because like you said, some people, it doesn't matter what you do, it's just not going to look good. They're going to stumble and it's not good for anybody. Like I said, not good for the reporter and not good for you and your business. So yeah, I think if you can find somebody that can talk about your business that you feel comfortable with and they do a great job, do it. It's totally worth it.
And the upside, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong because you're more of a veteran at this than I am, if you find that great person and you knock it out of the park, or maybe that person is yourself and you go to Susy and you have amazing media training, sometimes when these anchors or reporters are looking for quick weigh-ins and they know you're going to be prepared and you're going to be amazing, you're that phone call.
100%. I can't tell people that enough, that once you become a resource for a reporter, they're always going to call you. And so if you become the expert in whatever it is that you do, whatever subject, then they will always call you back. And that's going to be great for your business, because I always tell people, a third party talking about you and your business and what you're doing is always great for your credibility, for your digital footprint, your website. When people Google you, what are they going to see? And if they're seeing that you're the expert on so many TV stations or radio stations, or if they see your name in the newspaper, whatever it is, then, that just gives you more credibility.
And I love that. But some of you guys, it's like, I'm trying to think of the 12 steps. First step is just admitting that there's a problem, or maybe that you're not the best person for the job. But if you are, knowing that you have to be prepared so that you can eventually get to a point to where you are maybe that resource. I'm like the Black business resource in town.
Yeah, you are.
I don't mind it, but the only part that kind of gets a little annoying is this is due by 4 p.m.
Right.
I need your quote, and I'm getting it at like 2 as I'm in my car driving to a meeting that's supposed to go from 2:30 to 3:45.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, that you have to respond pretty quickly. If you pitch yourself and you become that expert, and a reporter calls you and they say, hey, we need a quote or we need a quick interview. Like I used to tell people, because people don't tell you this when you become a reporter, but like part of your job is to convince people to go on camera, because nobody ever wants to go on camera, And so part of your job is selling that. And so people would be like, well, I'm in meetings. I'm like, just step outside for 3 minutes and I can get an interview. Like, that's all I need, And I would not let them say no until they'd finally be like, fine. Like, she's going to bug me.
Pushy Susie. She's here.
But I would say, like, here's what I'm going to talk about. This is what I'm going to ask you about. Like, literally 10 seconds of your interview is going to be on TV.
That's awesome.
And so that's why it's so important to say what you need to say and know exactly what you're going to say, because really it's only going to be a very small snippet. So what are they going to take from it? And hopefully everything you said is important.
And it's valuable.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys listening are trying to build businesses and brands and build that authority, build that expertise. I have literally pulled over to the side of the road to draft an email or draft my response from my phone, click send, and then get back onto the highway to get to where I needed to be, because it was just that important for me to be that person that they could rely on.
And that's why they continue to rely on you. And that's why you are that go-to person.
I mean, y'all stress me out just a little bit. We'll talk about CBD a little bit later. But, I mean, it's all good. So, as we wrap, I mean, Susy, you had so many great tips. So you guys, Susy is all things media training. Do you have any trainings coming up, or how can people follow you? Because I am highly recommending that you... I don't know how you guys are doing it with the pandemic, but if it's virtual, get in on these trainings, because it's highly valuable, and Susy is the expert at what she does.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I do one-on-one coaching for people. Like, there's a lot of people now who are doing more video, obviously, for work because of this whole situation. And so now people are wanting to have that one-on-one training, whether it's speech training, media training, whatever the case may be. So, you can go to my website and email me through there, solismediastrategies.com, or follow me on IG. People always reach out to me.
Or if you just want somebody cute to look at, you could just follow her on the IG. I'm just saying, her and her friends. Good-looking women. I'm just saying, very inspiring.
We try.
Very inspiring.
I'm lucky one of my friends is a makeup artist, so that always helps.
You're not like me, where I'm like, I tried it today, it's not working. I will pay the $100 for you to come and travel to me and get this beat down.
You are not beat down, girl. That smile lights up a room. Don't even go there.
You should see me today.
The makeup artist friend does help, right?
Yeah, you have to have one on call.
And
so just like you have to be prepared, they need to be prepared for when you're like, oh crap, Susy just called and I have to go on Zoom in 2 hours. Can you come over here and beat my mug to perfection?
100%. 100%. And it's totally worth it every time.
It is, ladies. So that's our bonus pro tip. PR yourself with great makeup. Maybe I'll have a beauty person come on. Oh my God, that would be so much fun.
Yes. I have someone for you. So.
Yes. Oh, we can have we can figure it out, but we can have a cluster of artists.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you heard it here first, ladies. Well, fellas too, because y'all need to get rid of shine and stuff like that on TV.
Yes, and you know what? For the men out there, don't be alarmed when they ask you to put on some powder because you look a little bit shiny.
Don't be so macho.
It's okay. Men wear makeup on TV. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Or in general.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
All right. And you heard that from Susy. If Susy says it, do it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Susy, for being here and taking time out of your busy schedule. You will be back. So I'm just going to go ahead and send you that link, girl. And if you found this episode to be valuable, please tag, share, and click that button and subscribe. Leave us a review. And if you have any episode suggestions, please send it to leah@think3media.com. I value you guys. And I hope that we'll see you guys in the press and media soon. Until next time. Well, Susy just gave us so many nuggets, especially as it pertains to media training, you guys. I get questions on media kits and media training all the time. So I would highly suggest re-listening to this, taking some notes. But one of the other important things that Susy talked about that you'll hear some of our other PR guests or publicists talk about as well, and then with my company, Think3 Media, is there are media... cut that out, Reagan. I'm going to say there are locations within the local area, especially if you're in Dallas, that will allow you to come on site so that you're able to get professional video footage or live streaming footage of your interviews or video training. And so Susy recommends some spots, but some that are some favorites for me Obviously, I'm here recording the podcast at the Slate, which is at 2403 Farrington Street in Dallas, Texas. They just released the launch of their Zoom room. So if you have professional Zooms that you need to get done, they have a professional camera set up with a mic that makes sure that your Zooms go off flawlessly. So check that out at the Slate. Also, another recommendation of mine, if you're in the Dallas area, is On Air Media. We're going to have another guest on soon, Cynthia Smoot, again, and she uses On Air Media for her virtual events. I use it for my clients when they go on TV, but they're able to do so many cool things, like they can create a virtual background for you on a green screen that has your logo, so that as you're talking on TV or you're doing your video, it's just a little bit more professional. The lighting is always going to be great because these are media professionals. You'll be mic'd up, so you won't have to worry that if you go on TV or you're doing some of these live streams or some of these interviews that you look the part, you sound the part, and everything goes off great. No wonky Wi-Fi. So take a look at the Slate and On Air Media if you're in the Dallas area. If you have important interviews that you need to do and you just want to let professionals do the work, it's very affordable to do and you will not regret it. Like Susy said, if you do this right the first time and you knock this out of the park, you have the potential to come back on again and again and again, especially if they need that expert opinion and if they need a quick turnaround and you want to be that go-to person. That is like the height of PRing yourself. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you guys so much to listening to this episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Just wanted to throw some things out there for you guys that are looking for just a little bit of additional help as you're trying to PR yourself with your business or your brand. I want you guys to know about these resources that I've curated just for you. So you can always head to PR Yourself with leahfrazier.com, and it will have all the episode recaps there with photos of the folks that are coming on and the panelists, along with the episode recaps and ways that you can reach out to them directly. And also, if you go to PR Yourself with leahfrazier.com/course, then you yourself, if you just can't wait, if you want to dive in there and know all of the nuggets and you want it in more of an educational and informative fashion, please, please, please take my self-paced course, PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. It is one of my highest ranked courses. I've taught this for the last 2 years. I've constantly getting requested to teach this course across the US. I've done it virtually now during the pandemic, and it is a hit. I've had people receive both local and national mentions, things that have helped their businesses truly go to the next level. So remember, PR Yourself with leahfrazier.com/course, and you'll learn everything that you need to do, and you can do it all online, and it's completely self-paced so that you can PR yourself. Also, if you just want to learn more about some of the other marketing courses that we will be dropping periodically throughout the year, go to think3media.com, spell 3 all the way out, /think3edu, and we will be dropping all of our courses there. So that will pertain to everything with social media updates, influencer marketing, content marketing strategies. So if you just need little bits and pieces here and there, that's where you can go to access those courses and that content. We also have a monthly subscription service. So if you want to sign up for that, there will be a link there, think3media.com /think3edu, where once a month you will have one live course with me on something that is trending within marketing that could help you with your business and your brand. And also within that month, there will be a live mastermind session with other business owners or brands just like yourself, where we can mastermind and help you work through some of those marketing and PR issues that you may be having where you feel like you are stuck. We're going to help you PR yourself or market yourself and get unstuck. Okay. And lastly, huge announcement. My PR Yourself with Leah Frazier book is coming. I am finalizing it. It is coming, you guys, and it will drop January 2021. So head to pryourselfbook.com. It's a landing page, but you're able to sign up for my email list so that you get first access to know when that book will be out, and so that you will have yours shipped to you first. So you have to sign up for that list so that once that book launches, you get your hands on yours first. And this will literally be a physical manual that you will have in your office, and you'll be able to carry around with you in order to implement all of the PR strategies that you will need to take your business and brand to the next level. If in fact you're not at a point where you can hire a publicist or a PR agency or a firm. So that is pryourselfbook.com. It's coming January 2021. I'm so excited. I have been working on this for years, you guys, and I'm so excited to give it to you all at an affordable price. But without further ado, just keep listening, binge watching these episodes. I'm so excited to drop many more. And thank you so much for your support. Once again, if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so. Leah at Think3, spell 3 all the way out, media.com, or follow me on social media at the Leah Frazier, at Think3 Media. And you can follow the podcast itself at PR Yourself Podcast so that you never miss an episode and never miss an opportunity where you can learn from my media friends or other brands on how to PR yourself better. Until again.